It's Thursday, May 8th, 2025. A lot to talk about today. I want to get right into it. A very interesting day in these rigged markets. Dow Jones was up over 600 points today, and it closed up around 245 points. So it gave up about 400 points at the end of the day. And what's interesting is I'm having lunch today. I'm watching some of these financial channels, and nobody said anything about the sell-off in the last hour of the trading day today. Why did the Dow Jones sell off 400 points at the end of the day? I have no idea. Very, very strange. Are things awesome? Is this the time to just jump in and buy everything? Or is there something we should be worried about? I thought it was interesting today. A lot of interesting things. We got the Pope today. We got this deal with the UK today. Trump came out and said a few things. It says, Jerome Powell is always late. Everyone is cutting but the Fed. If Powell would lower rates, it would be like jet fuel to the markets. U.S. doing well without Fed cut. This is what the president said. Now, I believe by saying a lot of this stuff, he came out and said buy stocks. I think this is just juicing the markets, and I support the president, but I think that this is not good to be coming out and telling everybody to just go buy stocks and juicing the markets, to continue threatening Jerome Powell to cut rates. Many of you might think it's the right time. I think it's the wrong time. I'm no fan of Jerome Powell. I think he's probably bought and paid for also. I think he's probably very political. I don't know for sure. But one thing I do know is you cut rates in this environment where we are not at 2% inflation. You are going to add jet fuel to inflation. That's what the jet fuel is going to be added to. Inflation, not the stock market, to inflation. And yes, it will juice the stock market, at least for a while. But, I really am against, the politicians or, Scott Bessent coming out, and they know that they're triggering the algorithms, and they get these markets, just surging. Why the pullback today? I really don't know. But is this the time to buy the overpriced stock market? Is this the time to buy everything? Let me know your opinion of this. Please comment down below. Me personally, I wouldn't touch this stuff with a 10-foot pole. We saw gold slam today. Probably not a bad day if you need some gold to get yourself some gold. Trump says it's such an honor that Vatican elected first U.S. Pope. What do you all think about this? We have the first U.S. Pope. Graduated, or at least went to school at Villanova. From what I was reading earlier today, don't know, haven't confirmed this, but he's very progressive, would not be shocked. Look, I wish him the best of luck. Maybe he can bring some peace to the world. I really don't know. I was watching some of the event this morning at the Vatican, and it is just amazing how, people just gush over certain individuals, over 100,000 people there. And I watch this and I watch how people are so mesmerized. And, to me, it just solidifies why it will be so easy for the Antichrist to come to the world and fool so many people. People put so much trust in one human being. And yet, I think the best thing to do is get your own life under control, take care of your own house. Yet, we all think that it's one person that's going to fix all of our problems. And look, I wish him the best of luck. I hope that he's in a very powerful position, and I hope that he does God's work, and I hope he does really great things. But we've seen so many popes now who are so political, have certain agendas. So I don't know. I hope he uses his position for good, but we shall see. But, another thing is he is the first U.S. Pope. Does this symbolize anything? Is this a sign? I'm not reading too deep into this, but it is interesting. All of a sudden now we have a U.S. Pope. I believe he's out of Chicago, Illinois. Let me know your thoughts on that. Very interesting. Xi, Putin embracing Moscow, vow to defend multipolar world order and counter neo-Nazism and militarism. It says here this is coming from The Hedge, they both rebuke the U.S. and vow to strengthen ties. They put on a very, very big show today. Red carpets, lots of gold, and yet I saw no media coverage on this whatsoever. I saw it on The Hedge today, didn't know anything about it, didn't see anything on it on the television as of yet. Maybe tonight they'll show it, but why was this not news all over the media today? You have Russia and China meeting today, coming together in a 4-hour talk, and the media doesn't even discuss it. They're beefing up their friendship, they're beefing up their partnership, and this is not good for the United States. And you're seeing Russia, who now, is going to sell more weapons to India because of this war of Pakistan. They're going to sell more oil to China. Russia is getting so rich, and yet we were going to break them with the sanctions. They're making more money than ever before. And this partnership, this friendship with China is becoming more and more powerful. And I think we should be very, very cautious of what's going on. Yet, we just watch the Pope all day. We watch the rigged stock market. We're being told to buy stocks. And yet we have these two power players meeting today, and nobody even discusses it. Market Watch, empty shelves for lease signs and job layoffs point to recession by summer. Look, the recession's been going on for over 2 years. You're late to the party if you think the recession is coming. It's here. It says here in the article, if the trade flow stops, the economy stops. We're going to see if this really, really happens. Apparently right now, a lot of the cargo ships are not coming in to the West Coast here, and it's just a matter of weeks now before we see shortages. And we'll see how the American people do with that if this is all for real. But right now, it looks like it is. Renegotiating a trade deal won't be worth much unless it's with America's most valuable trading partners. So, great with the UK deal today, but is this really going to light the U.S. economy on fire? I doubt it. The one deal that matters, and really the only deal that matters, is China. And apparently we will be meeting with them Saturday in Switzerland. We'll see how that goes. The damage to the U.S. economy is happening in slow motion. The impact will soon be obvious. This also in the article on Market Watch. And it talked a little bit about what China could do to America. It could be dumping bonds. I think they hold about $786 billion of U.S. Treasury bonds. And what they're going to do right now, what they are doing right now, is they're going to continue to befriend nations who don't like us. And they're going to do business with these nations, because I think the goal of China at some point is just to cut America out and not do business with America. They're going to make it up in other parts of the world. And that's just the reality. And I hope and pray that we open up these factories. It's going to take years to build these factories. I hope we have people that actually want to go out and work. You know what I've noticed here in America, and I think most of you would agree with me, that there's a lot of lazy people in this country who, want to go to school for free, have you and I pay for it. They want to work at home. They don't want to go to work. They want to sit at home and work. Many people don't want to work at all. I think we have over 100 million people in this country that are not in the labor force. But if these factories do come back, if these jobs do come back, do we have Americans who will actually go work? Do they really want to work, or do they just want to stay at home and get free money? Let me know your thoughts on that. Comment down below. But there was a time in our history, back when your grandparents were here, your great-grandparents, that, man, these people worked hard. They built all those skyscrapers in New York and Chicago. They went to the coal mines. They went to the steel mills. They were just tough people. They worked very tough jobs, and they were very, very proud people. And I just don't think we have that today. And I really wonder that if we brought back even a quarter, half of the factories that left this nation, would we have people that would even go to work and take these jobs? Would it just be too hard? People want the easy way. They want the free money. People just, they have no pride in how they look. They have no pride in just, mooching off the system and having taxpayers pay for them. They have no pride. They would just rather, have you pay for their college tuition, for their worthless degree. It's really, really sad. I was out the other evening. Actually, maybe it was earlier. Maybe it was earlier. But anyways, a grown man, probably early 30s, walking around in his pajamas, and I just shake my head. What has happened to the American people? And I see this all the time. People walking around in their pajamas at the store, at a restaurant. People just, they have no shame. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care if they, if they look like slobs. They don't care that they're, 200 pounds overweight. And look, I'm not sitting here to judge anybody or to criticize. These are purely observations. But man, when I was growing up, people had a little bit more pride in how they looked. People really liked to dress a little nicer. They liked to be in good shape. They were proud of the jobs that they did. They were proud to get a paycheck every week. We just don't have that. And if you continue to not have what we used to have, I don't know how this country continues to be a so-called superpower when you have people, walking around in their pajamas, not wanting to go to work. And we have a lot of people like that in this country now. Americans believe real estate, gold are the best long-term investments. They're wrong, advisors say. This on CNBC today. Of course they're wrong. Just buy stocks, buy gold ETFs, and buy REITs. That's what they want you to do. They want you to buy more paper. So you buy more paper, and it's all backed by paper. You want gold, you buy gold ETFs. You want real estate, you buy REITs. They want you in paper. They want you in these markets. And I think that this is a time where you better be getting out of these systems. Look, the market was up over 600 today for a while, up only around 240, 248 today when it closed. But I think that even as rigged as the system is, I see the for lease signs. I see the going out of business sales. I see the empty buildings, just like many of you. And I see the purchasing power of the US dollar. They had an economist come on today on Fox Business saying how strong the dollar is, how well it's doing. And I just have to shake my head. You can't even buy a candy bar for $1 now. What can you buy for $1? The dollar stores are all gone. Now there are $5 stores. But this propaganda that we get on a daily basis on the television telling us, continuing to tell us that everything is fine, everything is awesome, go buy something, go buy some real estate, go buy some stocks, go buy some more of these overvalued assets. And there are people out there that are believing this, and I really feel sorry for what's going to happen to them at some point. The stock market can go up 1,000 points a day. It doesn't even matter at this point. What is really going to matter is if you don't hold it, you don't own it. And we are continuing. We just saw 20,000 people getting laid off at UPS, and they'll tell you that the job market's fine. We got nearly 80% of this country living paycheck to paycheck. Consumers doing just fine. Nothing to worry about. Get yourself prepared, ladies and gentlemen. Really quick. My good friend over at TKL Knives, Tim, make sure you're running good equipment. Get yourself, everybody should have a good knife. Let me see if I can focus this in for you. But everybody should have a good knife. A lot of people will say, oh, I would never spend that much for a knife. Look, my life is worth more than a piece of Chinese steel. I want something handmade in America, built by an American, built by a vet. Get yourself a good knife, TKL Knives. Go to my link down below. I haven't mentioned him in a while, but it's so important. I picked up some more gear yesterday, another tool, and when I leave the house, I'm running with a G17 and I'm running with a TKL knife. Go to the website, link down below. They're always dropping some new batches. Some of this stuff, a lot of the stuff is sold out. It's a 3 to 6 month wait. Sometimes if they don't have it in inventory. But if you're looking for a really incredible blade, one of the nicest ones you're going to buy, go to TKL Knives. I highly advise that. Again, you can buy a $40, $50 Chinese blade. That's fine. But I cut out the lattes. I cut out the expensive restaurants. I cut out a lot of things in my life, so I buy good gear. My life is worth more than $50, $60. So I invest in the best thing, the best that I can afford, whether it's a firearm, whether it's a blade, whatever. I'm trying to invest in the best because, look, if you're going to climb Mount Everest tomorrow, you're going to run cheap gear or you're going to run the best. If you're jumping out of an airplane and you're going to go to war, do you want the best gear or just subpar? Ask yourself that. Very, very important. Doug Casey on the debt spiral, treasury market stress, and a new financial order. Great article. Where did this article come from? It's coming from his website, theburningmanplatform.com. And I won't go through the whole thing, but a couple bullet points here. He says he would not buy bonds. And by the way, 10-year treasury bond yield today up about 10, 11 basis points. The first risk with buying bonds, interest rates. He says, I think interest rates are going back up to the levels of the early 1980s. That's around 20%. Second, the government will continue running giant deficits. Those deficits will be monetized. Monetary inflation is headed up. The dollar is headed down. 3, default risk. There is no guarantee that all the debt out there, including U.S. debt, will be paid off. Long-term bonds, he says, are the worst. They're absolutely toxic. So, you can check that article out. Very, very good. Stay away from bonds. So yeah, we did see the 10-year creep up today. And what does that mean? Well, it means it's going to cost you more to get a mortgage. It's going to cost you more to borrow money to buy a car. It's going to cost you more to get a credit card. So you need to borrow money. It's going to cost you more. 30-year fixed rate on mortgage today, according to bankrate.com, 6.85%. Real estate is getting crushed. Here's another one from Redfin. Sending 2 kids to daycare costs more than rent in most major U.S. metros. I will say this. This is absolutely unsustainable. It is absolutely almost impossible for most people to even have a family now. Comment down below. How much does it cost you for childcare every month? In Denver, Colorado, the average monthly cost for one child for daycare is $1,434 per month. That's 83% of the typical rent payment. Now, if you have 2 kids, that's $2,867. That's 167% of the typical rent payment. How in the world are people doing this? Average household income is about $72,000, $73,000 a year. That's before taxes. And if you have 2 kids, you're basically spending $3,000 a month, $36,000 a year on daycare. This makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. I don't know how people are doing it. Comment down below if you're in this situation. What type of money are you spending? Here's another one today, coming from The Hedge. It's titled, India is China 2.0. It's authored by Spencer Morrison. He says here, sorry to burst your bubble. America will not benefit from free trade with India or any other third world country. Interesting. How do you trade fairly when a country like India has slave labor? Their annual wages are $2,500 a year versus American wages at $63,000 a year. It says here, just like China, when you compete with them, U.S. factories move to these countries. Since 2001, 60,000 factories have left the United States. Are we really going to benefit by trading fairly with these countries? At the end of the day, I think we need to be making this stuff right here in the United States of America. It seems to me we're making countries richer, and I don't see us getting much out of it except cheap goods and services. I think America would benefit much more if it was making this stuff right here in the United States of America. Because, yes, at the end of the day, the factories leave here. They don't pay taxes here. They don't produce jobs here. They go and they pay people $2,500 a year. So again, I don't know if we really benefit from it right now. I don't know if we're benefiting from it right now, because look at what's happening. These countries now are charging us more. And at some point, a lot of these countries are going to wake up and say, we don't want your monopoly money. We're giving you physical goods and you're printing this monopoly money. And there's going to be a day of reckoning coming, and it's probably going to come from China when China just says, hey, no more paper. We want gold. We'll see. But so far in this global economy, I think America has gotten absolutely destroyed. The jobs are gone. The factories are gone. The wages are gone. Doge deactivates over 500,000 credit cards. This a Newsweek today. 500,000 credit cards in 32 federal agencies deactivated. That's a lot of money flowing through credit cards with these agencies. It says here 1/10 of all government cards have been suspended. Comment down below. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Would anybody argue that this is horrible, that 500,000 government federal credit cards have been deactivated? I think it's a good thing. I mean, just imagine the amount of waste or theft has taken place with hundreds of thousands of credit cards. What's being purchased on these credit cards? 500,000? I think anybody out there that says, oh, this is horrible, we shouldn't do this, you really need help. Here's one today from the Hal Turner radio show, Artificial Intelligence, AI, telling people to stock up over tariff war. So I was reading this. People were asking Grok AI about what they should do, and it gives a whole list of how you should be preparing for the tariff wars. It's amazing that people just cannot use their own brains, that they cannot think for themselves, that they need AI to tell them what to do, how to prepare, that people cannot see this, they cannot independently think. It's unbelievable. I mean, we really are a bunch of zombies, aren't we? We have to go to a computer. We have to ask the ultimate AI what we should do, how should we prepare, because we just can't think for ourselves. It's unbelievable what is going on. Love to know your thoughts on that. Comment down below. I'm going to leave it there today. Gold did pull back about 50 bucks today. Probably a good day to buy. And I'm going to plug this company really quick. They've been, they've been selling a lot of these things. The Dirty Man Safe. Look, gold is well over $3,000 an ounce. It's very expensive. You don't want somebody to take it from you. Same thing with silver, your diamonds, any information to your cryptos, cash, whatever. You can put all that stuff in one of these little safes and bury it under the ground. Very hard to detect. You just open this up, put it in there. There you go. And I just think it's an ingenious idea. And they have been selling a lot of these. A lot of you have been buying these things. And with a pullback today in gold, I'm sure a lot of people are out there making a purchase. And I just don't think you should have all this stuff in your house. So much safer on your property, underground somewhere where only you know where it's at. So I wanted to leave you with that. I want you all to, protect your assets. Make sure that you have the proper tools, the proper training, proper gear. So important. Love these things. Love them. Carry a G17 every day, and I always have one of those next to it as backup. And very important that we're all working on our skills. We're all getting in better physical shape. So I just want to leave you with that. Comment down below on any of this stuff. Have a wonderful day out there. Be careful, be safe. And as always, look forward to speaking to each and every one of you. God bless. Take care.